Well, hello there. It is time for Jungle Drums. Quite a bit later than usual. Bunch of different reasons. Look, first week back at school, so I've been extremely busy. Didn't even have much time to get news items together in advance like I usually do. So just went a bit later to allow some time for that. And as well as good old Sergeant J was actually working a bit late this evening, weren't you, sir?
Yeah, fun times. Fun times.
Speaking of fun times, unfortunately Gim Boyd's not with us this evening because he is not having fun times.
He is not.
Some wisdom tooth pain. Been there, done that, not fun. So best wishes to Gim. Hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. I had thought of contact. There was a couple of people I'd thought about contacting to fill in, and I was like, you know what, it's just unfair to do that to people last minute. It's like, you know, it's just fine. The two of us, Jay. The two of us.
Just the two of us.
We can accomplish anything. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's been actually really good to be back in school this week. Me and Jay were actually just discussing a couple of things earlier. We won't go into it, but you know, just it's this year. I think last year was a little bit not really, bored's not the word, but there was a lot of information that wasn't necessarily brand new to me. So I think I did find myself sometimes just like, whereas this year, no, really getting into the meat of things, and looks very interesting. You know, like how last year we had basically a big final exam, Jay?
Yeah.
Whereas this year we don't. Instead of an exam, which is fair enough because the exam would be based off the last 2 years, so hell with that. Instead we've got a project to do. And so we saw some of the finished projects, and yeah, like almost telephone book size. So
Yeah, not surprised by it. I think it's a lot better with stuff like that, having projects rather than exams, because it just shows you can put your knowledge into practice and whatnot.
Exactly.
A lot more so than what an exam would. I hate exams, really do.
See, it's true. I mean, and I think a lot of the younger guys, and I do say guys because unfortunately there's not a single female on our class, especially here in Scotland. I mean, worldwide, I know the IT industry, you know, doesn't have as much of a penetration, you know, with other genders, but in Scotland even more so. They would love to get more computing students up here, and it's just they're so few and far between. It's just not something that they get into. It's a shame. But yeah, a lot of the younger guys, you know, they saw this completed paperwork and they're like, oh my god, holy shit. And it's like, you know, trying to explain to them, yes, but look, a lot of these things are evidentiary that you're going to be able to reference the work that you're doing throughout the year, not verbatim, but, you know what I mean, like it's going to make it seems quite foreboding on week 1 of this year, but when you think about all the other stuff you're going to be doing and all the different modules, all the different classes, it'll all fall into place. It'll all fall into place.
It's the thing though, isn't it? With with an exam, you can have a bad day and that can pretty much be game over. But with a project, you've got, as you say, this whole entire time, you haven't got to worry too much. We have, but not a different sort of pressure on you.
Exactly, Jay. And as long as you stick to your because the deadlines are non-debatable. Like if you don't meet a deadline for each stage, that you can still pass, but you will not get an A.
Yeah, you get capped, don't you?
Yeah, and the university that I'm attempting to go to, like just the bare minimum, I have to get an A on this course. If I don't, then that's the subsequent degree and everything's kind of chapped on the head, so to speak. So we shall see.
Yep.
So if you're a procrastinator, no good. You need to actually.
You say that. I procrastinated on my final year project.
Yeah, I know you did, but
I
some folk can actually deliver the goods. But
I wish I hadn't. I could have had a much better project if I hadn't. But still,
I'm going to try to be a good boy this year. The only problem is things like Destiny 2 and everything, but we'll see.
I'll message you every day and be like, you don't do work, Jungle.
Just ban me. I'll give you admin rights for Discord, so when you see me getting on, you can just ask, hey, have you done your schoolwork? And I'll be like, no, not yet, and then just ban me.
Be like, wrong answer.
You're not getting on. Right, well, hey, I suppose we've BS'd enough, haven't we? Let's get us a little bit of news. I can't remember how many weeks ago, but I know a few weeks back we discussed what the new Xbox One update was going to entail of. Well, sure enough, our friends over at Windows Central have put up that, hey, look, the new Xbox One update is here. For certain people on the Alpha Insiders ring, or the Insiders ring, the Alpha Preview ring, that's what it's called, yeah. I've already got it. I believe they got it yesterday. I know I had a console update yesterday, but I haven't switched it on since. I don't know if these changes are live yet, or if it's only for, Alpha Ring or whatever. But anyway, the new update, if you remember, was going to be changing the layout of the home screen. If I just pull up a quick image of that, it was changing the kind of layout of things. Allegedly a bit more intuitive. We will see. We will judge for ourselves. But, allegedly it's supposed to be quite good. Some good alterations to it. One of the big things I'm interested in is, how you've got your pins at the bottom, Jay?
Yeah.
And at the minute we're capped to 20, I believe.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
This new revision is going to display up to 40 pinned items. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So that's going to be a very nice little tweak. They've also got some more things coming. There's going to be more discovery tiles that are going to be horizontally across in the middle of the home menu. I think there was like a few little optimizations they were going to be doing to the OS. Hopefully it's going to run a little bit smoother and quicker. I mean, if we're fair, Jay, it has improved.
Oh yeah.
I think removing Snap, while it sucks, I get it. I see why they did it. It does make everything just respond better.
I like how they've got Mixer, a lot more information on there now as well for you.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and now how it can broadcast up to 1080p as well, doesn't it? It says.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If you're streaming directly from your console, Mixer's integrated into the Xbox, as we know nowadays, and before it was capping you at 720, I believe. Whereas now in this new OS update, you will be able to stream at 1080p, which is nice, and it is good. But I've got to be honest here. There's something that kind of irritates me, and if you think about streaming, I mean, streaming is quite a deliberate thing. I mean, you have to, if you're using OBS or XSplit, you have to know what your internet upload rate is, because once you know your upload speed, then you can try to budget what you should stream at, because you don't want it too close to your max upload. Because keep in mind, I mean, you know as well as anyone, Jay, that what your ISP tells you your upload speed is like best case scenario. It's not guaranteed that you're always going to have that upload speed, and it's the same like at certain times of the day, depending on network traffic, it might lower a bit. So at least with XSplit, OBS, any kind of broadcasting software, you can control that and set it to exactly what you want. And this is what bothers me about streaming directly from the Xbox on Mixer, is that it automatically determines the upload rate depending on your bandwidth. And where this is a problem is Mixer currently can stream it up to 9,000 kilobytes per second, which the cap on Twitch is 6,000, right? No one really streams over that, but on Mixer it's more. And it just, what I worry about is if folk out there are trying to broadcast, and when they first start, like they've got perfect conditions on their line, like say if they've only got like a 10 megabit upload, and sure enough the Xbox decides to stream at 9 megabit, and then they get a little bit into the stream or something, network traffic builds up, and then their stream starts to drop or something. That's my only kind of critique of it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Because I know a lot of people, when Mixer first launched in the Xbox, were having issues. They couldn't stream, and I think it might have been to do with that, with the way that it automatically determines your bandwidth. Because remember, the Twitch app, at least you could set the quality that you wanted, and it would kind of give you an idea of the bit rate that it was going to be using. But yeah, I mean, really, they're also putting in more language support for Arabic and Hebrew. The type of languages that go right to left. I'm trying to think what else they're doing here. Yeah, it's easier to see your custom background images on home. The broadcast tab itself is actually going to be redesigned, and it's going to include more info about your Mixer account, including your level, your sparks, your total views, your Mixer channel pick. So that's pretty cool. So, they're definitely trying to improve things. I mean, it makes me wonder, Jay, do you think the dashboard for the One X is going to be totally different, or is it just going to be the same?
I reckon it will probably be the same.
I mean, I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they've come out and said, haven't they? The Xbox One X isn't, although it's obviously more powerful and stuff, it's not like it's a new generation of console as such in terms of leaving the Xbox One behind.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see why they wouldn't run the same system. You also got to look as well the timing of this new UI upgrade or whatever dashboard is getting pretty close to the Xbox One X release date anyway. So is this an almost they just like because either A, if we've got a better system we want to use, or B, we'll trial this because obviously it's on the Xbox One X. This has been designed partly for this, or so.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. That, like you say, that because I mean the One X is just a one on steroids, so they're probably going to look identical in the OS, and that would make sense. Implementing these changes in preparation, it's almost as if we're like the beta testers for the One X.
Yeah.
Official Xbox One, which we know the Xbox One's already discontinued. Which, funnily enough, did you see that in the news actually?
No. No, that's news to me.
This is what they did, right? The typical media outlets tried to dramatize this, saying that's it, Xbox One discontinued, blah 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 blah, like it just happened. The truth of the matter is, as soon as the One S was launched, they stopped manufacturing original Xbox Ones. And how long ago did the S come out?
I don't actually remember.
It was a fair while, because the announcement for the One S was at last year's E3. So...
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Right, so, I mean, that's how long that they haven't been producing the OG Xbox Ones. But just in the last week, certain kind of media outlets and whatnot were making a big deal about, oh god, look, the One X is just around the corner, and already Microsoft have discontinued the Xbox. But it wasn't new news. It was fake news, basically. Hate to be so cliche, but it was. But yeah, no, just wanted to throw that in there. Xbox One discontinued. So there. Oh no, my t-shirt is actually doing funky stuff. I wasn't doing that earlier. I just noticed.
Clearly your t-shirt's enjoying it.
There we go. I just had that. It's because I had a bit too much direct light from one of my lamps. So. Sorted. I did not notice. Apologies. Right, next bit of news is from PC Gamer. And it is news. I mean, it's somewhat of a plug as well. But I believe it's a plug for a very good cause. And that, of course, is Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle, if you don't know what they're all about, you need to go check them out, because Humble Bundle offer, like, you can buy just about any PC game through them, but if you set up a Humble Bundle account, you can choose a charity where some of, I think it's like maybe 10% of your purchase just on normal games goes to the charity of your choice. So there you go, you're buying games, but you're also, helping out a charity. But besides just their normal store, they also do what they call a Humble Bundle. And so what a Humble Bundle does is there'll be like a minimum donation. So this month's one, well, not month because they usually run a bit more than that, is called the Jumbo Bundle. And the Jumbo Bundle, if you purchase it with just $1 donation, you'll get the Flame in the Flood, Infested Planet, and Human Fall Flat. So awesome, right? 3 games for $1, why not? But then they've also got these other tiers. So there'll be like an average price listed, which I actually haven't, I'll be honest with you, I have not looked. Let me see what the average price is. Let me see. If I just pull it up real quick, sorry. Should have done this in advance.
Yeah, geez, talk about preparation.
Right, so yeah, if you pay $1 or more, you get those 3 games. If you pay $5.06, or a little bit over, you get those games, and in addition to those, you also get the World War One first-person shooter Verdun, which I know a lot of people that play it, and they say it's really, really good. I'm gonna have to try it sometime. A adventure puzzler called Samaros 3, Warhammer End Times Vermintide, which I don't have, but you do, don't you?
Vermintide, yes.
And you said you liked it, didn't you?
Yes, it's essentially old school Warhammer Left 4 Dead. So you've got set classes you can play.
Sold.
It's really cool. You can get. It's got a little bit of an upgrade system to it, so you can get bits of gear like different weapons and stuff that have different effects, and you can make them better by doing like dismantling stuff and crafting it into better things. So it's got like a sort of RPG element to it, but it's just really cool. Like I said, you've got all the sort of, like you've got the big sort of, I can't remember what it's called, but like the massive rat guy that's essentially the tank from Left 4 Dead. You've got a assassin type 1. You've got a guy that can grab you with his pike and then just pins you up and hangs you to death from it. It's actually really good. It's essentially a Warhammer Left 4 Dead, and it's great. I enjoyed it a lot when I played it.
Right,
definitely worth a buy.
I'm going to have to consider this bundle then, because I do have the Flame and the Flood, because I subscribe to Humble Monthly, and I'm sure I got that before, but those other things sound quite neat. And plus, with this Jumbo Humble bundle, the DLC for Warhammer End Times Vermintide's included as well. So
I don't think I have those.
So that's pretty cool. For just over $5, you're getting a whole bunch of games. But guess what? Hey, we're not done yet. No, we're not done. If you donate $10 or more, because again, we're talking about giving a charity here, you can choose how much of your donation goes to the charity itself, how many goes to the devs. You know, they've got this really cool slider tool that you can choose all these things. But if you pony up a tenner or more, you'll get American Truck Simulator as well, which is pretty neat. I mean, I don't have American Truck Simulator. I've got Euro Truck Simulator 2, and I know the American version is smaller. I think, I think there's less in it, but the fact that you're in the States, you're using American big rigs, it does look kind of cool. And that was a game I had thought of picking up, so I'm definitely considering it. For only $10 to get all of that content, all those games, sounds like a pretty good buy, and it is going for a very good cause. But guess what? This Jumbo Bundle doesn't even stop there. What the folks at Humble Bundle have said, that just shy, in just over a week, they're going to be putting even more games into the Beat the Average tier. We don't know the details. We don't know how many more games they go. But hey, look, they're going to be adding more stuff in. And that Humble Monthly that I just mentioned not long ago, if you grab this bundle, you'll also get 10% off your first month of the Humble Monthly bundle. So, yeah, pretty cool. This Humble Bundle, which is the Jumbo Bundle, is going to be available till September 11th. So definitely, give it a look. It's a good cause, and you can. It's a nice way if you don't have many PC games. If you use Humble Bundle, you can build your collection up quite quickly. And if you're a member of Humble Monthly, Jay, they've also got the Humble Trove, which is like a library of games that are free for you to download. It's not like new stuff. It's like a lot of indie titles, but still quite cool.
Yeah,
still quite cool. So something to think about. You'll have to see later down the line when you've got more dispensable income when you're making those big bucks.
I think the problem is, half the reason, because I've known Humble Bundle for a long time, I think half the reason I've avoided it is because I don't want to rack up this huge games library I'll probably never touch, or at least take me a long time to get through.
Yeah,
I think that's half my sort of holding back, because I would probably get a lot of these bundles, and they'd just be sitting there gathering dust.
Yeah,
to speak.
You're right. Look, I mean, the thing with Humble Bundles and Humble Monthly is, like, for content creators out there, right? If you're trying to stream or making YouTube videos or whatever, if there's games that you don't want, then guess what? You can give those back to your community. Because you don't have to install the game. You don't have to redeem that Steam key right away. You can gift it to people.
Exactly.
So there's that option. Why not there's something that you don't want. And I know it sounds horrible that you're giving away, your leftovers, but no, look, people like free stuff. Yeah, they want more expensive and bigger free things,
but they won't show loads of free things.
Yeah, I mean, even like doing Twitter giveaways, Facebook stuff, some of the, a cheeky little Steam code here and there, it's definitely a nice little gesture. Right, I'm going to introduce this next bit, but I do believe Jay is going to be, he's the man for this. He is the man for this.
I'm the man for this.
This is an article from IGN, and of course this has been not just IGN, but all over the internet, Twitter, everywhere. And it's about Destiny 2. Not just about Destiny 2, it's about Destiny 2 DLC, which is already, details are coming out. And so, without giving too much away, Jay, well, I don't want to give stuff away. You give the stuff away. What's going on here?
I will be the guy.
What's going on with this DLC?
Well, there's this talk, isn't there, of the next DLC being about Osiris. So anybody that's played Trials will know who this is. Barely even see the bloke, do we? Obviously, it's about going to look for him, I believe. And obviously, it's going to bring out a new patrol zone on Mercury, and it's going to bring out a social space, which was the Lighthouse, which obviously only the lucky few got to see during Destiny 1 days.
You're telling me that a PvP scrub lord like me finally gets to go to the Lighthouse?
You can finally go to the Lighthouse. Yes. Well, not everyone knows the exact same one. It probably is, but it's quite intriguing actually, because obviously they've put the release date as December, haven't they? Which, as you've stated earlier, seems very likely back to their old roadmap from Destiny 1.
It begs the question. I mean, I'm sorry to interject, but when we keep getting sold, and I'm not trying to slag off Destiny 2 by any means, because it's not out yet. It's impossible to make any proper judgments, but we keep getting sold that the amount of content in Destiny 2 is going to be a hell of a lot. It's a big step up from the original, blah, 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 this, that, and this. But then to hear that the first DLC is also going to be just 3 months after release, it just makes me curious and wonder. It's like, well, wait a minute. Is it possible, Jay, that even with a shit ton of content, folk like us that tear through that content like there's no tomorrow, is the 3-month pacing actually kind of aimed at us?
I partly think it might be more aimed at the more hardcore players for it, because it's just, I mean, I'll use the comparison of things like WoW. I mean, in all fairness, when WoW expansions came out, you could tear them pretty damn quickly. Like I said, I did 80 to 85 in Cataclysm in the space of 2 days. I literally just rinsed through that. Yeah. Obviously, things that I did with WoW is they've got a lot of stuff to keep busy, and this is where this is interesting. I'm not sure what to make of this, because it's out in December, and they've obviously bigged up this whole entire how much bigger Destiny 2 is story-wise, content-wise. So is this to bridge the gap, just to give us more stuff to do, again, aimed more at the hardcore? It could even be aimed at the casuals, because casuals might, people don't get much playtime, might take a bit longer, and then it's I've got less wait for this. And obviously with all the talk about all this more end game stuff, as to speak, they've got for Destiny 2, it'll be interesting. And we still don't fully know what the end game of Destiny 2 is like yet either. We don't know if it's going to be a lot of replayability in it and all this. So, but at the same time, I think it's quite nice, because it's not that far away. Obviously it's in December, so are they going to be doing another thing like a Dawning event as such? Again, this is all stuff. And then if they are following this roadmap, is the next one going to be in April? And again, are they going to have filler stuff? Because I feel that's where they need to really knuckle down, is having content to keep us going. And as they've stated, they're working with other developers to try and help with this work. I believe this was mentioned at some point during their reveals or something, about them having other developers helping them absolutely right, to allow them to get more content rolled out. In actual respect now to Destiny, to this DLC, I'll come to Destiny 1 to begin with for this. So with Destiny 1 instant release, you had your 4 zones. You had Earth, Venus, Mars and the Moon. Okay, so Destiny 2, we'll look at that now. Same sort of comparison, you got Titan, Io, Nessus and the EDZ, European Dead Zone. Now, when Dark Blow came out, wasn't a big fan of it. I don't think many people were they? Due to the lack of content on it.
It was cool to have a couple of new things, but I mean, if we're brutally honest, it wasn't enough.
No, exactly. What they did with the Dark Below is mostly a story was on old planets, so it was on the moon. Fair enough, to be fair, because that's where Crow's residing, and Earth. So you're seeing a lot of reused content, which is kind of a bit sucky, really. Then you come on to House of Wolves, and I'm going to throw Rise of Iron in with this as well, because I feel like they fall under the same category. So House of Wolves, you had Skolas. Now, obviously, again, you got a new social space, which is pretty cool. You got no new patrol zones or anything, no, but you visited the old planets again and sort of old assets. But at the same time, it kind of made sense from Skolas' storyline, because he was escaping you. I mean, they could have done it on another planet, to be fair to him, but at the same time, it made sense. And again, this is why I bring back to Rise of Iron. Rise of Iron was obviously, as we all know, was an expansion that was there to fill due to the fact of the delay on Destiny 2. That's what Rise of Iron was really designed for. And also a throwback to all the sort of older players as well, beginning players as such, veterans, as to say. And again, obviously, quite nice of them was they brought out a brand new patrol zone with it. And the questing was more done within this new patrol zone, which was quite nice. This new patrol area, there was a lot of reuse stuff, but as you know, with the actual new patrol section, you had so much more cool stuff, like around where Arkansas Forge was, all that map of area was amazing. That was brilliant. Obviously, then Taken King, which was before. The reason I bring up Taken King last is because it was by far one of the best expansions that Destiny has done, in my opinion. I think it's in a lot of people's opinions. Now, what's great about that was it brought a brand new zone, your Dreadnought, brand new patrol area. But what I liked about Taken King was there was a good chunk of the quest line in this new area, but there was also a lot on old areas. But that was nice though, because it all sort of tied in nicely, and you did have this chunk of Dreadnought. And this is what I'm hoping will happen with the Osiris DLC. Is we've already been told, well, we assume this is true, that you're going to get a patrol on Mercury, which is cool to begin with anyway. And obviously the new social space. I'm hoping they'll follow the sort of Taken King and almost Rise of Iron side of things, where you might have stuff you have to do on other planets, maybe to look at finding tracks of Osiris, maybe looking at details and things like that, intel and stuff. But I'm hoping there'll be quite a few quest zones within Mercury itself. So it's not just, the patrol's there, because at the end of the day, that's where Osiris was based, wasn't it? That's where he went off to study the Vex. So you'd hope that there would be questing there, and I hope they do that.
So, I mean, what are you thinking, estimating that this first DLC is unlikely to be the same kind of impact as the Taken King, but probably more than what the Dark Below and what House of Wolves was? Somewhere in between, maybe.
I'm hoping it'll be more like, well, I'll say more so towards the Rise of Iron, because I feel that was sort of a good bridge between what was Taken King and Dark Below and House of Wolves. I'm hoping it's more to that sort of extent. But again, it's hoping and there is enough content to do. And again, what's quite nice about this is obviously they bring out a new planet patrol-wise. Now, what's good about this is obviously, as they've discussed, haven't they? They've got this, I can't remember if it's a weekly or monthly thing. I think it's weekly, where you've got a planet as an actual designated weekly area. So this now throws another planet into the mix as well, which is quite nice. So it's again something else to do per week. It's like, now Mercury's on it, cool, let's go to this. All the special hidden stuff. And we're again with how much they've been saying about all these things like the lost sectors and adventures and stuff. Is this going to be again within Mercury? Is it going to be as upscale as we think it will be in Destiny 2?
Oh well, no, I think that's some good insight there, Jay. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I know that the usual internet's going to be salty that what the hell, the game's not even out yet and they're releasing DLC. We even got a friend that is coming up with the usual kind of crap that you see on Reddit about, look, it's stuff that's been cut out of the game. And let's be honest, no, it's not. They've got a roadmap. They've got a plan. It's not a case of disc-locked content that you have to pay for later. Just that fallacy just always gets me.
I don't think it is technically cock-cut. This might be something that, to be fair, is definitely one they might have wanted to explore, because obviously there was that whole entire fallout, wasn't there? Story getting changed last minute. But I think with a lot of games like this, they're probably they've probably put a lot of their, I could be wrong, but they've probably put a lot of their developers onto this DLC now, whilst the last lot are just tidying up what needs to be tidied up and getting ready for release day and launch day. And like I said, they have got these extra developers on board as well. That makes life a lot easier with rolling out this DLC and everything. It thing. So, I mean, they're not going to just spend 3 months working on this DLC, because if they did, then, to be honest with you, there's a good chance it'll be pretty crappy DLC. And you might look at something that is dark below level. I'm hoping as well that with this DLC, they do something cool, because you look at when Dark Below came out, you got the sword bearers you could do. When House of Wolves came out, you actually got the patrols and the wolves patrolling. I can't remember if they did anything for Taken King. I actually can't remember if they did. I wouldn't mind another big cool ARG event like they did for Rise of Iron. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Because Bungie are pretty good at doing that sort of stuff. I'd like to see the same sort of thing with Osiris, even if it's like some Vex patrols or like little almost echoes of him somewhere or something. It'd be pretty cool. I hope they do something like that with it, because again, that's more content to give us stuff to do before release.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, we know we'll both be having that DLC anyway. Because I mean,
I've already got the
exactly.
This is paid for, so
I've already paid for it.
Us mugs.
But we'll see. We'll be playing Destiny 2. Remember, friendly reminder, it's out next week. It is
can't wait.
Next
can't
week.
wait. So
and
hyped.
it shall be played. Speaking of DLCs and updates, there's another game that, again, one that we know I am very partial to, and that, of course, is Tom Clancy's The Division. The Division just had an update not long ago, 1.7, which I can admit wholeheartedly I ended up no-lifing for several days. I was just that hooked. I really, really enjoyed it. And not to be outdone by that, the team over at Massive have already announced the next update. So my source here is PC Gamer, and this is version 1.8, coming sometime this fall. And the update is free. It's entitled Resistance, and it's going to expand the map and add 2 new modes. So if I just pull up this trailer very, very briefly, just so we can have a little peek here. Because of course we're allowed to show a trailer because that whole lawsuit that just got fixed with,
we fought to save
fair
our
usage
city.
and stuff, so I'm perfectly entitled to do this now. Thank you, guys. So, as you can see,
West
new
Side
map
Pier.
extension, the West Side Pier with the USS Intrepid.
Our enemies are regrouping.
Absolutely
and worse,
fantastic.
They're working together.
Looks gorgeous.
They've decided that we are their common enemy. We only have one option. Do whatever it takes.
Right, I'm just going to pause it there. If you want to see the rest of that, you need to go find it on YouTube. But basically, right, all of the factions have came to this realization, because if you go around the city, let's be honest, they fight with each other, right? They'll do things if they ever encountered. You'll have the Rikers fighting LMB and whatnot. But for 1.8, for Resistance, they figured out that, hey, wait a minute. SHD, the agents, they're the true enemy. So they've actually joined forces against us. And so we are getting a game mode that basically, and I know, people hate when you compare to other games, but let's be honest, in the industry nowadays, horde mode is the term we use. So the Division, hey, the Division's getting horde mode. I'm looking forward to that, because I'm kind of like Jay, where I'm one of those sick guys that will try to solo these types of things.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if horde mode is because I know in Gears of War you do need a full team. Let's be honest.
But no, it's not going to stop me from trying, is it? And I will probably go back to Division and attempt that myself as well, and be like, let's see if I can do it.
Aye, it's it looks great. So the game mode's called Resistance, and it's a PvE mode in which up to 4 agents try to survive as long as they can against wave upon wave of enemy NPCs from all of the factions. So yeah, sold. Which they don't have to sell it to me because it's free. It's a free update, so that's awesome news for all of us. In addition to Resistance, they've also got another game mode that is coming out, which is called Skirmish. Which, if you remember, we got Last Stand, which is well, if we talk about Destiny, it's almost like Control, isn't it? It basically is Control.
Yeah.
You try to capture a zone, get the zone control, get a couple of them, and then go out and kill folk, blah, 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 blah. But Skirmish is a more traditional 4-on-4 team deathmatch, which is something that a lot of people have been asking for. There's a lot of people that don't like Last Stand because of the tactical aspect of it. You can have people who are... I've seen it before. I mean, I played quite a bit of Last Stand during 1.7, and you'll have folk that are really good at killing enemy players, but suck at the tactical objectives. Like, I'm not sure if you ever did this, Jay, but I had quite a few Last Stand games where I actually just avoided people, like, you know, actual players, and I just went after the NPCs. And I ended up generating more points on the scoreboard with, like, a handful of player kills compared to the folk that were, like, you know, like 15, 20 plus kills, because I was going around killing named enemies and whatnot. So I can understand why people would be salty about that. That if I'm playing a PvP mode, but only going after the PvE content within it, and I'm actually ranking higher on the leaderboard than them, you know, I can understand the frustration. So Skirmish is going to rectify that, because it's going to be unadulterated, you know, just 4-on-4 pure PvP, where your goal is basically to get the highest number of kills before the time expires. So, pretty neat. The update is also rumored. It's going to have some improvements to the Underground DLC. That's all we know. It's going to change up some of the mechanics when it comes to agents going rogue in the Dark Zone. It's going to optimize the gear system and bring in a new social space called Camp Clinton, where players can gear up and meet with other agents. So there you go. It'll be interesting to see what 1.8 can do, because 1.7 did generate some interest. A lot of people did come back for that global event, but once the global event finished, unfortunately, the numbers have went down again. Even factoring in 1.7, on Steam, there's only been about 4,000 concurrent players of The Division in the last 30 days. So there you go. It's good enough to be in the top 100 on the Steam list, but it's only about a tenth of the average for other, you know, Clancy games like Rainbow Six Siege. So it's a bit of a shame.
We hope, like, I haven't gone back to it since for a while now, to be fair, and I will go back to it at some point. But obviously, Destiny 2 now is around the corner. But it's a shame, because I would like to see it do well, because it was a game that we did fill our gap with Destiny, and it's enjoyable. It's I quite like bunny hopping between Destiny and Division. It was good fun. And this again, adding these extra PvP modes is great, because a lot of players wanted it. And obviously, Horde is definitely a big seller. It's a big seller to a lot of people, because a lot of people love Horde modes. I mean, just look at, for example, Destiny. You've got loads of people asking Bungie to put it in, because it's just such a fun game mode.
It is. I mean, we've said it before with the Division. It just seemed like it had unfulfilled potential.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. You look at what the Division has now, and so it's got the main campaign, the story. Okay, there's not really RPG elements, really, but you've got talent, you've got builds that you have to worry about once you get to max level. You've got the Underground DLC, which is procedurally generated maps, which are really quite cool and fun, right, to grind out. You've now got Survival, so that whole kind of Battle Royale type thing where you're trying to survive and get out. You've got the Last Stand, PvP, which is, well, the tactical PvP elements. You're going to have this Skirmish 4-on-4 PvP. You're going to have this Horde mode. Meanwhile, whilst all that's going on, you've got these high-value targets. There's daily ones and weekly ones that you can do, and add in the global events that occur every so often. Now look at that game compared to, you know, the Division in that state. If that had came out like that, you know, as original release, I think the story would be very different, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, when you break it down, holy shit, that's a game. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I know it doesn't guarantee success, but I think why we've lost so many people is because it's also kind of suffered even worse than how Destiny suffered when there was these lulls in content. I think it was even worse for the Division because of all the other issues they had, especially on PC with cheaters and exploiters and whatnot. And I think just these little bits have been really cool, but they haven't been enough to bring people back. Whereas if you look at what the final game is, and I say final, but it's not really final, but, you know, a snapshot of what this 1.8 is going to be altogether. And if that game had launched way back when, I mean, holy shit, I think it'd be a different conversation. we'd be talking about how the Division has, been doing really well. It's a shame because, again, those devs, they're great. They do a state of the game stream every week, usually. But almost every day there's someone from the team streaming, talking to fans, talking to the community. They've halted development cycles specifically to fix stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they pushed back patches and DLC just to fix issues the community had raised. So they're a good team.
They are good. I think the thing is it's I want to say almost like it is sort of a new genre, isn't it? Same with when Destiny came out. So with Division, it's a lot of learning for them. It's not something they're used to doing, I would say. If you look at all their other games, it's and so they're learning from it. And as you say, it's good because they're doing these state of the game play streams. They're actually listening to what the community want, and they're improving and fixing. And the game is getting better and better. It's a shame it didn't come out that way in the first place. But again, it's a learning curve. It's something new, and I expect if they do a proper Division 2 expansion, whatever it is, it'll be 100 times better. And they would have learned from their mistakes, and that's what really matters. And I know a lot of people moan about it and complain, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
For those that have stuck there since day one, obviously enjoying it now, and seeing as it moves along.
Yeah, I think it's another game that a lot of people like, similar to Destiny. If they didn't have a fire team to play with it, they had a very different experience.
Yeah, definitely.
But at least with the Division, you can matchmake. But let's be honest, it does suck, because if you try to do an incursion via the matchmaking, guaranteed, like, after the second wipe, the group will break up.
Yeah, probably, exactly. Well, exactly. I had that happen with just a normal, little mission. I tried on challenging once back in the day, and the group just fell apart after a couple of wipes on it. It's just like...
See, this is the thing, you go in with the shield build now, and just, like, few little optimizations, and I mean, like I told you, it's no big achievement because there's a lot of folk doing it, but the ability to go in and solo challenging missions was just so cool. It was just, the legendary ones, no, I can't do. I'm not that good, but the challenging ones, like, yes, finally.
Well, I always enjoyed that. I like to see that they really sort of buffed the shield, because that was something that's really sold me for Division. It's almost sort of tanky class as such. The fact that you've got this cool bright shield, and the fact that I could get ridiculous health on it thanks to stupid amounts of skill power and mod slots and things like that.
Well, I mean, how fun... I know we hit a brick wall the last time a new incursion had came out, but until we hit that wall, how much fun did we have with you tanking, me as the healer, and
it was great.
Warfares and Gim as the DPS support? It was just...
It's
so
that,
awesome.
I think from that aspect of the game, that's why I much prefer it to Destiny, because you've got this. You can have one guy as your sort of sniper and an SMG for close range. You've got another guy you can have like your LMG and your assault rifle, and then you say you've got like this sort of tanky guy and this healer who just places down like healing stations and has the heals and stuff. And so you got me with my shield and sticky bombs. You got one of them with a turret, and it's that is the one thing I really do enjoy about Division,
which Destiny 2 might be addressing a little bit.
Might be addressing it, but I still think Division has that a lot better. I will quite happily say that. I really do.
It's just got a place in my heart. I mean, this is the problem of being an ex-GI as well. I'm partial to the tactical shooters.
Yeah.
And I always liked, and I know you can say, well, it wasn't realistic because there were bloody bullet sponges, but aside from how much damage it takes to kill things, because let's be honest, it's still a shooter RPG type thing. Yeah. I like the realism, of the way things looked, and the way the weapons looked, and
well, they have the recoil and everything as well. Great. Yeah. Like, again, the weapon play is quite fun. And to be fair, as you say, okay, it's not realistic in terms of bullet sponges, but how boring would that game be if it was just like, oh, it's dead after one shot?
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't.
It just wouldn't be as fun.
But no, is it still? And I swear, I think they've also optimized as times went on, because the last time I got on, I swear to God, it looked better than I remember it looking.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe it was just my memory playing tricks on me.
Division is definitely on my radar to get back onto again, but obviously it'll be after this big Destiny 2 stint.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we hit a content drought.
I'll be back on Division. I've got all this stuff to catch up on.
But there's be Siege as well, though, because Siege will never die. unfortunately. We're gonna have too
Good
much stuff to
Siege.
play. Shadow of War. Oh, okay, we just might. We're not even gonna bring it up. There's gonna be way too much stuff to play. Right, got 2 more bits to talk about real quick, and we'll go. I'm gonna go over this next one really, really quickly. It's just another article from PC Gamer, and it's to do with monitors and a company that, you know, like I had an Alienware laptop years ago, and Alienware, you know, they're still cool, but there's a bit of love has been lost ever since Dell acquired them, and you know, so hey, whatever your opinions, that's fine. But Alienware just announced a pair of 34-inch curved monitors with G-Sync. And these are looking quite nice, to be perfectly honest. They're basically under the Alienware division, of course. So there's one, as far as I can tell, the first one is a 1440p panel. It's going to have a refresh rate of up to an overclocked 120 hertz. 4 millisecond delay, gray to gray response time, and of course it's curved. It's going to have a 178 degree viewing angle, and it looks not too bad. It's going to have DisplayPort 1.2 on it, which is good. There's, you know, that's basically high-end monitors these days. They need to come with DisplayPort, you know, just for obviously G-Sync, but even for the higher resolutions as well. You know, it's better to have DisplayPort. So that looked pretty neat. But they've also got a 1080 panel version, same size, same curvature. The monitor looks, again, if I pull that image up, identical to this, except instead of 1440, it's going to be a 1080p panel, which, okay, lower resolution, but it's going to have a faster refresh rate of 160 hertz. So again, we're talking about G-Sync monitors, which, you know, G-Sync's just beautiful when you see it in person, because it enables you don't have to have V-Sync on, you know, because V-Sync is a software thing, whereas the way G-Sync works, it actually, you know, links your video card directly to the monitor, and it's just it's a beautiful thing to see in person. But oh my god, these things are, you know, you can buy them right now. They've got Alienware's Alien FX RGB lighting. The 1080p panel in dollars is about $1,200, which for a 1080p panel, holy crap, or $1,500 for the 1440. But again, it's because they've got G-Sync, it's because they're high refresh rate, and of course they've got RGB. So the minute something has RGB LEDs, I mean, you can add 25%. Jay, is that about right?
Probably.
You know, look at a normal fan for your computer, and then look at an RGB fan, and the price difference. Keyboards, I mean, holy crap! I need to remember my keyboard.
Ah, yes, your lovely broken keyboard. I mean, working keyboard.
Yeah. Do you want me? Remember what happened initially? It was the F3.
Or was it the F4? I can't remember what it was. It was one of those keys. And then you lost the second key.
Right. Okay. This is what we're up to now. F3, F7, F11. I, K, and L. All of those LEDs. Yeah, amazing. You know, a flippin' mechanical high-end keyboard, but because I didn't go RGB, I just went with blue LEDs. Turns out, now we know, blue LEDs have the shortest lifespan out of all the LEDs. RGB do not. RGB have a very, you know, they shouldn't die. They should have a very long life, so to speak. So looking at getting a different keyboard, but again, part of me really wants a blue one for the aesthetic. This is the price difference, Jay. Same keyboard, not the one I've got, but the same one I'm looking at. You know, this in blue, $64.99.
Yeah.
RGB, $119.99. Exact same keyboard though. Like everything, the mechanical switch. It just
it adds a lot on. I mean, you look at the Black Widow tournament and the Chroma one.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
The price difference is insane. I mean, so
it's ridiculous. But yeah, there you go. So some new Alienware monitors, pretty badass, high refresh rate, G-Sync, a lot of money though. So we've only got one last bit of news, and this is from Polygon, and You know what, Jay? Why don't you just this interests you? You like
huge Millennium Falcon Lego. I mean, that's just who wouldn't want that? Obviously, it would be in a glass cabinet, away where nobody could touch it. Just look at it.
I mean, when you look at it, it does look amazing. For anyone that's unfamiliar, I mean, I think everyone knows what Lego is. I mean, if you don't, then I feel sorry for you, because your childhood obviously just, was a harrowing experience. And, honestly, that really, really sucks. That's a shame, because I think just about everyone knows who Lego is. Whether you liked it or not, that's another thing. But we've all heard of Lego.
Yeah.
But what Lego has is an Ultimate Collector Series line, and these are really high-end kits that you can buy. So the latest one to come out, or the one that is, about to come out, is this Millennium Falcon. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this, Jay? What's the deal with this? Why is this one special?
Because it's huge.
Okay, how big is huge?
7,541 pieces. It's 8 inches high and 33 inches long and 22 inches wide.
Ooh,
I mean that's you might if you bring up the article and you see the picture of the bloke hand.
Yeah, for scale.
That just shut. So I think if you scroll down, click on that. Sorry. I mean, how big is that? That's huge.
Holy, yeah.
I mean, you could use that as probably a starter weightlifting kit.
I wonder how much that thing weighs, because it doesn't say, does it?
That's got to be a lot. I mean...
Yeah, he's got a vein popping out in his forehead, so it's heavy. No.
I can't believe that's light. I mean, I know Lego's light, but that's a lot of pieces.
That is quite interesting. It's what's interesting is, I didn't realize. This Millennium Falcon is Wait, am I reading this right? Was the last Ultimate Collector Series also a Falcon? Or is it just saying... Because the last Ultimate Collector Series version...
I think it's about the same size as it, released in 2007.
Yeah.
This
is what was striking me, because when I said 2007, I was trying to think, wait, are we saying, the last time an Ultimate Collector's anything came out, or was there already a Falcon?
I think this is the so you got the Millennium Falcon from what was essentially obviously the old the original Star Wars movies. This one's obviously the one from Force Awakens, sorry.
Okay.
Such, because obviously it comes with Han Solo, Chewbacca, and then also comes around Rey, Finn, and BB-8. So I think, because obviously it's I'm pretty sure in the new film, the Millennium Falcon looked a bit different, didn't it? So I think you probably are right. I think there was the other one which was quite a big one, and then this is obviously the one from the new film as such, I'd say, having read this and looking through the article.
Yeah, it's quite neat. So I mean, it comes with all these figurines basically, and then also it comes with a informational plaque that details all of the Millennium Falcon's origins and specifications. So I mean, it definitely sounds like a nice piece. But how much is this going to set us back?
How much? Well, where was it? It was a stupid amount of money. $799.99.
Holy shit!
I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, they are called the Ultimate Collector's Editions for a reason, series, but that's a lot of money.
I mean, for Lego, that is crazy. But at the same time, we were just talking about the RBG factor for computer equipment. Is this a case of the Star Wars factor for collectibles? If it wasn't, just say if this was not the Millennium Falcon, but a piece like a helicopter that was the same size, the same, amount of pieces in height, would it still be that much? I highly doubt it. I think there's got to be a bit of Star Wars tax on that.
Yeah, probably is. I mean, how long would that take to build as well?
We've got some more tasty images right at the bottom. Let's just pull these up real quick. I know they're a bit smaller on screen, but some different angles here. But I mean, yeah, you're right, Jay. How that would take a long ass time, I would think. I mean, but the detail.
Well, I mean, you just look at from perspective. You look at that we've seen recently in the news, but obviously like David Beckham brought this massive princess fairy castle majibity thing from Lego, and that took him a long time to build. It's, I mean, 7,000 pieces. That's an insane amount of time. That will be. Also, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably quite rage-inducing. I remember.
Do you think you could get relatively frustrated building this?
For example, I remember I once I had Mega Blocks, to be fair, so I had like cheap Lego. This massive plane thing, and I was pretty young at this point, but I actually ended up throwing it halfway across the room and just getting really angry because the pieces weren't sticking together and kept falling apart. Oh, but no, that's a long. It's got to be a 3-4 days build time, I reckon.
Like maybe 3-4 days straight.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine as well opening that and losing a piece, or finding you're missing a piece?
Oh my god!
I'd be like seething.
It probably has quite a few unique pieces as well that aren't going to be easily replaceable, I would imagine. You would think, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of with you where it looks amazing, and let's be honest, I think any person that likes Star Wars, I mean, come on, I mean, I've got stuff, I may or may not like a little bit of Star Wars, possibly. Possibly. So I can see that. That would be an amazing addition to have, like, in your man cave, your gamer cave or something, like, in a nice glass case, and it would be a conversation piece, that folk would love to look at. But of course, you wouldn't let anyone touch it, because, no. Oh, can I pick that up? No, you cannot. No. If you want to take my firstborn child away with you, yes, you can. They're yours, but you're not touching the Millennium Falcon. Oh, but that price though, gee whiz, it's just crazy, especially because it's Lego. You know what I mean? Like, you could buy and make a nice Millennium Falcon reproduction, like a model that was even more realistic looking, I would imagine, for less than that. But then again, I guess it's that novelty factor as well. That
I suppose it's the fun of building it, isn't it? You get to pretty much
True.
scrap. Oh, look at this.
True. Well, hey, my birthday is just around the corner. I could always ask for it. I doubt I'd get it, but doesn't come out anyway.
I would say I'd buy it for you, but I don't have that sort of money lying around.
Jesus, that's an Xbox One X.
That money's going on my Scorpio Limited Edition Project X.
Oh, I didn't tell you either. At school, I think a lot of folk were really interested in drooling over that, but yeah, no one managed to snag one.
Unlike us suckers over here.
Unlike us suckers. Oh,
so happy I got it. So happy.
Well, anyway, hey, that is it for this evening. That is the news. Thank you for anyone that stopped by this evening. Much appreciated. Of course, if you missed the live show, don't worry about it. Chances are that you're watching this right now on scholarlygamers.com. Make sure to check us out every day, Monday through Friday. We've got articles and features, reviews that pop up all the time. We've also got other video content. My good friends Mr. Creature and Chronos53 are doing In the Dark. Currently on hold. We've had some technical issues. Unfortunately, Chronos53 has had a PC failure. So In the Dark is on hold until he can get things back in play. But Armchair Gaming is still very much alive. The latest episode just dropped on Wednesday, so please make sure to check out my good friend The Unbearable Gamer. Have a look at that sometime. And just today, or if you're watching us on Scholar Gamers, it was yesterday, we had a great article pop up from Tom Gregg, who is a... No, I'm not even going to say where he works, but he works for a very large company to do with video cards and works on their drivers, and he's a software developer. He does stuff, and so he's taken us on a very nice journey and an article today talking about some video card technology. So you'll probably like that one, Jay. You should.
I'll have to have a look at that.
You'll have to. That'll be the late. If you look right now, that'll be the latest news piece. So just so what I mean is, because it is late, if you're looking at it tomorrow, it won't be the latest thing.
Yeah, well, I've got some time to waste tomorrow, so I might have to have a look through for that. Troll through.
But yeah, hey, check us out, scholargamers.com, and of course, you might be watching us on my own YouTube. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, that is going to be it for this evening. We will see you again next week. Next week will be episode 30.
What we
30,
Jay.
next
week.
30.
That's 30. We've been going for that long. Jeez.
Yeah, 30.
That's a big
Already.
number. Already.
It just seems like yesterday we just started doing jungle drums, but up to 30. Well, I think we all know what we're going to be talking about next.
I think we do.
Are we even going to be able to pull ourselves away for an hour?
Well, the thing is...
Or is it going to be actually us talking whilst we're playing?
See, this is the thing. I might have to pull myself away. One, for the break, and two, I don't think I'll be paying attention whilst I play.
Hey, that's... we might have to think about that, actually. We could maybe figure something out for next week. Maybe do like a co-stream.
Could do, yeah,
playing
actually.
Destiny 2. Maybe even all three of us. We'll see. Anyway, look, we're rambling.
We'll see. But yeah, we're just like pushing things here.
Jay, thank you so much as always. Thank you for
No
joining
problem.
us. And,
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch all of y'all later. Take it easy.
Au revoir.